So allow me, at this point, please allow me to again ask for our participants' support. We've been doing this for 3 months already as a way of helping our frontliners. So our call of the moment is to give back and pay forward. So to our participants, please, while you gain access to all our live webinar series for a cause from April to May 2020, well, up to now, we're still doing it, you may donate an amount to help families in distress. So together, let us show our support to our fellow Filipinos who are in survival mode during this difficult time of the global health crisis. And Ariva is working with the Bayanihan Act 2020, as well as the proceeds will be going to the Bayan ng Mahayhay. So that's in Laguna, Mr. Nishant. And also, please allow me to greet our birthday celebrant for today, Mr. Joseph Asma. Happy birthday! Happy birthday, Sir Joseph. And of course, we would like to say hello to our participants watching from out of town. They're watching from Rizal, Baguio, Batangas City, Cabanatuan City, Bulacan, Cebu City, Cavite, Pampanga, Davao, Dumaguete City, Benguet, Quezon Province, South Cotabato, and Laguna. And then in a few minutes, we will be answering your questions. So to our dear participants, if you have any questions, please don't be shy to type it in the chat box. If you're watching via Zoom, we can read your questions. So just type it and I will read it for Mr. Nishant. Thank you very much, Mr. Nishant. Let's start first with the present questions.
Okay, sure.
This question is from Miss Marinette Espartines.
Okay.
Her question is, does your focus diminish as you grow older? Does your focus diminish as you grow older? I'm excited for your answer also.
Okay, so here's the thing. Now, I mean, focus is a part of the mental fitness, like memory, observation, visualization, imagination, focus, all these things are under the peak mental performance arena. Now, it is true that as you age, the ability of mental performance usually goes down. Now, I said usually, I never said it will. Now, the reason why it usually goes down is because people don't do anything to improve. So if you don't do anything, of course, it's going to go down. Now, big question that I get asked is, Nishant, my learning ability when I was in school, I could remember everything, phone numbers, everything, my lessons, everything. But now at my work, I can't do that because my question is, what kind of effort have you put in? So my point is, age doesn't really matter. If you practice what I just told you, single tasking, and mental fuel. I mean, I know people like, for example, I live in Singapore, and I see a lot of people who are 70. We call it the silver generation in Singapore. 70 years, 75 years, 80 years old. They have absolute mental clarity. They have focus. So it's not about the age; it's about the practice. So if you practice, you can have peak mental performance even at the age of 80. And if you don't practice, you can have low mental performance even at the age of 20.
That's right. I would have to agree. I would have to agree with that. So thank you for your question, Miss Marinette. Another question from Miss Rose White. And her question is, how do you remain focused while multitasking? So I think you answered this a while ago already, that it's not advisable for us to do multitasking, but rather single taskings. But you might want to give tips, Mr. Nishant?
Yes, so the question is, how do you focus while you're doing multitasking? Now, first of all, like I said, in my presentation, of course, this question came in before the presentation, so I can really appreciate that question. Mm-hmm. But hopefully after this presentation, you might know that, that is not my suggestion. But there is a place for multitasking in our life, especially, when you want to do mundane tasks that do not require thinking, mechanical tasks. I mean, do not do anything that actually affects your safety. That don't do multitasking with that, definitely. Operating a machinery and all that stuff. But there's certain things that, you don't have to use your conscious, you don't have to use your brain, not use your brain. You don't have to think a lot. So there are like mundane mechanical tasks. For those things, yeah, you can definitely do multitasking. But if the task is important for you, it makes a difference for you, it impacts the quality of your work and everything else that is important, then in those sessions I would do single tasking. Now, for those of you who think that, oh, I know I do multitasking and I'm quite good with it, so why should I do single tasking? So my challenge for you is, if you thought you're doing multitasking, you're still good, now try single tasking, you'll be 10 times as good as you are. So try it out for 10 days and then see what happens. So that is my answer for that.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Nishant. So, Ms. Rose, I hope that you remember all the tips that Mr. Nishant gave throughout the presentation. And one last question for the recent questions. Ms. Sherry Avila asks, what are the roadblocks did you encounter and how are you able to overcome them? Again, what are the roadblocks that you've encountered and how are you able to overcome them?
So I'm assuming that she's asking about my personal life, what roadblocks I have encountered. Yeah, the same thing like everyone else. I would say, okay, let me just make it kind of general here. I think the biggest
Mm-hmm.
roadblocks for many people is, number one, especially in today's world, is overwhelm. Too
What's
much
that
of
again, Nishant?
information,
Yeah.
too little action. In fact, I have,
Mm-hmm.
if you go to my, in the slides I gave you my website, remember Nishant /Ariva, I have a program called the free program called the Output Principle. And I'll just give a little bit of information from that. Output Principle is the number one reason why people have a roadblock is because they focus too much on the input and they have
Mm-hmm.
little information on the output. So here's
Mm-hmm.
my suggestion for you to stop the overwhelm in your life. Don't be addicted to learning, be addicted to taking action. So that is how you will end overwhelmed in our life. So that is one of the biggest roadblocks that people have. Because in today's world, oh, I want to be a better leader. I want to be a better employee. I want to learn these skills. I don't know how to be good on video. I want to know how to write better emails. So yeah, it's all good things. Skill building is very important. And then the problem is, you keep searching information, research, getting information, reading podcasts, videos, and so much information. You feel so overwhelmed, and then you don't take any action, and your email writing still sucks, right? Your leadership is still the same. You're still the same employee. In spite of all the knowledge, you haven't put the action. So that is one of the biggest roadblocks that people have. So stop the learning mode. Learning is good. Take the information that you have, run with it, take action. That's number one. Number two, the biggest roadblock that I had to go through, this is one of my problems, which was the first one, overwhelm. The second big problem that I had in my life was lack of strategy. Now, this is really, really, I'm scared when I look back to certain portions of my life. How did I even live my life? Because I was just waking up every day and just do the things, fighting fires, working on important things, urgent things, and all that stuff. There was no strategy in my life for many years. And of course, in those times, my performance was down, my productivity was down, my income was down, everything was down. And the moment I said, okay, you know what? I need to have a strategy. We have strategy for playing a guitar. We have strategy for how to do a good Zoom call. We have strategy for, how to change channels. Why don't we have strategy for how to run your day? Because Jim Rohn has a beautiful saying, and he said, either you run the day or the day runs you. Either you run the day or the day runs you. Similarly, either you run your life or the life runs you, because that's the reason why these things are important. So, I mean, there are a lot of other roadblocks, but I think these are the top two roadblocks that I think I have encountered in my life: overwhelm and lack of strategy.
Thank you, Mr. Nishant. So, Ms. Shambi, I hope you got that. Too much learning is a no-no. So, what Mr. Nishant is saying here is, yes, you can learn, but do action. Take action right away. Is that correct, Mr.
Absolutely.
Nishant? And also have a strategy. We'll entertain more questions from the Zoom webinar chat. And this question is from Mr. Hiren Nabua.
Okay.
And his question is, what can one employee who wants to practice your methods do when his or her employers aren't wired or very accepting of the methods you are suggesting? Example, employers would expect their people to be doing switch tasking all the time. So what will you advise Mr. Nabua? Yes, he might be willing to do your tips and all that, but then the boss or the leader doesn't want it that way.
Okay, so yeah, this is first of all, thanks so much for asking. I'm sure the other people who might have a similar question. So thanks for voicing it out. I really appreciate that. And this is a big challenge. This is true. Because if you're not the boss, then it's a big challenge. For example, you can say, hey, let me do single tasking, but if a boss is expecting you to do multitasking, switch tasking, so how do you come out of that? So there are a couple of ways, not easy ways, but there are definitely a couple of ways. And the first way is, of course, have a conversation with your boss, because sometimes we think that, again, I don't know about your boss, so I can't say it's going to work with your boss, right? But here's the thing, sometimes we assume that if I suggest something, because my boss's way of doing things is like that, so he or she will not approve this new method. So my suggestion is, go and have an open communication, open conversation. Say, hey boss, this is what I've learned, and I think this makes sense to me. So what about giving me like a 1 week trial run and let me see if I can do this thing? I mean, if it doesn't work out, just of course, you're the boss. I'll go back to what your methods were, but maybe that's what really works for me. Now, again, I'm not saying it's easy to have such kind of conversations with your boss, but I think that is one way, because sometimes, and I've suffered a lot in my life just because I assume someone will say no, right? So again, I mean, one of the things my dad taught me very early in my life, I'm going to say the same thing, is Nishant. He told me this: Nishant, you have the right to ask anyone anything as long as you recognize their right of saying no. You can say, your boss say no, okay, then no. So then of course you can't do that. So in which case, if your boss says yes, congratulations, yay, go for it. But if your boss says no, then my suggestion is, let's say you have the whole day, 8 hours of work. So out of these 8 hours of work, or whatever, how many hours of work that you do, maybe have pockets of time. So let's say 50 minutes was too much for you, just do 25 minutes. So you can say, you know what, okay, this is what my boss is away, or my boss is giving me the deadline, now he doesn't care how I'm doing it. So you can incorporate this on your own, and you say, okay, this 25 minutes is sacred, holy 25 minutes for my work, and let me see if I can do 25 1 0 instead of 50 1 0, 25 minutes, one single task, and zero distractions. You can try doing that. Now, the saying no part, that's a tricky thing too, to say no to your boss, because you're supposed to say yes to the boss, right?
Mm-hmm.
So how do you
That's
say
right.
no to the boss? So again, like the same thing, have a conversation, and if your boss is saying something to do, and you can say, boss, I want to really help. I mean, I'm not, okay, by the way, first of all, I'm not an expert on communications. I'm not saying this thing is going to work with your boss. I'm an expert in this thing, but you need to have a communication conversation, an open heart-to-heart conversation with your boss, and suggest these things. That is one thing you could do. But the third thing, having the mental fuel. That is what you require. If you have an uncooperating boss, you definitely need a lot more mental fuel. And gratitude, reflection, meditation, that one you can do whether your boss approves it or not, because that's on your personal time. So having those things, will actually help you. So yes, I do understand that this might not be the solution for everyone. But my question is this thing. One of the things I do in my life is, sometimes we get so caught up on the circumstances, because the problem is, if you have an uncooperative boss, that you can't change it. But my question in those circumstances is to ask yourself, what can I do now? So okay, I said this to my boss said no, what can I do now? So when you say, boss, what can I do now, that is where the reflect comes in, because you need to ask, what can I do now? And then you'll get some ideas which probably you haven't thought about before. So that's what I would say, Nabua, for your question. So I hope that answers your question. So give it a try. I wish you all the best.
Thank you, Nishant. Mr. Nabua, good luck as you talk to your boss and influence your boss to look at the other side of things.
Oh yeah, there's one more idea.
Yeah. Okay, good.
Okay.
Go.
Ask your boss to come and do a speech in your company.
Yeah, that's right.
So then I'll do presentation, and maybe that works, because I've done this. Because sometimes I've done this is what I do. I'm a professional speaker. I speak all over the world. I go to companies. Sometimes all the training that I do is only for the bosses, and they will say, oh yeah, this is good, and then that's another, of course, that's
Yeah.
that's also is possible.
Correct. I agree, Mr. Nishant. And as long as you're speaking to your boss with tact and respect, I believe that your boss will be able to open with these kinds of ideas.
Hopefully,
Mr.
yes.
Nishant, thank you very much for your time today. I know you're a very, very busy guy, but still you accepted our invitation to discuss this very wonderful topic. At this point, let me call on Miss Irish Malonda, President of
Uh,
Ariva. Yes, another point. Yes, Mr. Nishant, let's go.
It's
Um, can you turn on you're on mute, Mr. Nishant?
okay, because the last
Okay.
thing was, I had a thing, first of all, thanks so much. I take the opportunity to thank Ariva, and Irish and everyone, JM, for, making this thing possible, and Anne behind the scenes, and Coach Suzette on screen, and Jeff and everyone. So
Yes.
really, it's so great to be on this platform and to uh, given this opportunity. That's number one. Number two, I hope the ideas that I gave you were useful for you, and also I have some more resources where you can actually get my more videos and more information called the Output Principle. So I just dropped a link in the chat where it's only for Ariva, for participants here. Just go there, enter your name and email address, and I'll be more than happy to give you more resources. So really, thank you very much. It's been an absolute pleasure. And anyone has any questions, you can always send me later on. I think you can send them and Ariva will send it back to me, or you can directly contact me. I'm here to help you as far as focus is concerned. I definitely can give you some ideas. So thanks so much.
All right, great. Mr. Nishant, one message that you would like all our participants to take away after this webinar of yours? Any message or key takeaway that you want them to bring with them? Just
Okay, so
after
out
you
of all the
close
things, the
yeah.
key message I'd like to talk about is simple. And if you really have to do only one thing, my suggestion is block out the next 1 hour and write down what I will not do from now onwards. Not what I will do, what I will not do. My bad habits, my bad thoughts, the projects that are not serving me, the company or the people that are not helping me, the things where I'm getting the negative vibes. What can I cut in my life? And when you have a list of those things and put it on the wall, so keep reminding all the time, because when you say no to these things, you're saying yes to your goals. You're saying yes to your focus. You're saying yes to your productivity. You're saying yes to your family. You're saying yes to your hobbies. So you have more free time to work on the things. So my suggestion is do what Steve Jobs did. Kill 70% of the things that are not effective, are not helping you in your life, and keep the 20 or 30% that will actually move you forward. And if you just spend 1 hour in creating that list, yes, it takes 1 hour, but that 1 hour is so worth it. It's going to give you, it's like an insurance, it's like an investment. It give you a lot more time in this year and the years to come by. So that's my final message.
Thank you, Mr. Nishant, for letting us appreciate the art of pausing and the art of really doing meditation and reflecting and making a gratitude journal. That's my key takeaway for from your webinar. Thank you very much, Miss Irish. Yes, let's just call Miss Irish back in.
Okay, I'm back.
Okay, hello, Miss. That was an
hello,
awesome
Mrs. Seth.
presentation.
Yes,
Hello.
indeed, I agree with our YouTube viewer, Miss Juliet Dumpayan. It is indeed a myth-busting learning session from Nishant.
Right.
Thank you so much, Nishant, for this opportunity, for giving us tips on how to single task, the 51-0 rule, the mental fuel, gratitude, reflect, meditate, and the power of saying no. Thank you so much for this opportunity.
All right. You had a lot of key takeaways, Miss Irish.
Yes.
Yay.
Yes, I had. And of course, Coach Suzette, thank you for moderating our session. I'll be seeing you in a while for another session. Yes, in a few minutes with Miss Abigail Arenas. So, everyone, I'd like to acknowledge some of our win-win sponsors. We would like to thank the following win-win partners: our official media partner, Art Plus Magazine; digital media partners, Focus Media, Globaltronics, CD Advertising Ventures, Outcome, Elevate Media. Win-win partners, thank you as well to Brother, Faber-Castell, Gluta-C, Moringa O2, KFC, Mr. Donut, Tokyo, Lotus Biscoff, Boss Job, CERT Technology Inc., Finma Properties, Salary Jet, Frontier Software, Ilawi Korea, Kittleson and Carpo Consulting, Enchanted Kingdom, Disperse, Cosmotech Philippines Inc., MindChomp's virtual preschool program. To register, please call them at 0906-486-0710 or email them at disakanabe@mindchomps.org. And of course, thank you as well to Essential Safety Products PH for your personal protective equipment, for your health and safety compliance requirements. Please email them at essentialsafetyph@gmail.com. And if you want to place your ads here, advertise your company, your services, your logo, please email us at marketing@ariva.com.ph. Stay on top of our insights and updates. Stay connected with our social media sites. Please join us at Ariva Academy Facebook group. Like the Ariva Academy Facebook fan page. Follow the Ariva Academy LinkedIn page and visit us on our website. It's www.ariva.com.ph. And if you want to watch again the replay of our e-learning session with Nishant and the previous e-learning sessions that we had, please do subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's Ariva Academy and Ariva Talks. And don't forget to click the notification bell. Okay? And for our upcoming online learning sessions, we would like to invite you the ASHRI Virtual Summit PH 2020. This is a live webinar series for a cause, and we have invited international and local subject matter experts to share with us their wisdom in the HR field. And don't forget to register. This is after this session, on-screen impression management. We will be having again, of course, Ms. Abigail Arenas de Leon to talk about this session. Unlock your creative potential, get unstuck and stay productive in turbulent times. This will be tomorrow, 3 to 4:30 p.m. And we have invited another global speaker from Singapore, as Rick Idrus. Managing virtual workers today, live webinar series for a cause. And we will be having Mr. Bob Nelson from United States. This will be on Wednesday, June 24, 2 to 3 in the afternoon. Our second online selling from home, how to use FBIG and LinkedIn for your business. We would like to invite you. This is the second batch, Wednesday, June 24, 4 to 6 in the afternoon. And of course, this will be discussed by Mr. Jonathan Yabut, the Asia's Millennial Guru. Another masterclass, e-learning masterclass, effective human resource planning techniques and strategies in response to COVID-19. This will be on Friday and Saturday. Don't forget, June 26 to 27, 3 to 5:30 in the afternoon, and we will be having Mr. Ronaldo Turla to talk about this session. Another live webinar series for a cause. We have invited Professor John Raymond Almeida to talk about pandemic and HR in 2020. I'm calling out to the HR professionals out there. How strategic should HR become during the COVID-19 crisis? Don't forget to register June 29. And of course, we have a masterclass series by none other than Mr. Howell Mabalot. Okay, this will be on June 30, how to communicate with diplomacy, tact, credibility in times of chaos, leadership skills for supervisors in turbulent times, July 16, and how to take on greater responsibility, step-up skills for non-managers, July 29. And this will be talked about by Mr. Howell Mabalot. Okay, and of course, what to do if you're laid off during COVID-19. We will be having Mr. Jonathan Yabut on Wednesday, July 1, 4 to 5:30 p.m. And this is only $599 per participant. Another masterclass from Mr. Professor Ricky De Vera, effective collections of receivables in the post-pandemic. This will be on Thursday, July 2. Don't forget, part 1, 10 to 12:30, and part 2 will be 3 to 5:30. Don't forget to join us. Another masterclass, Managing Tax Assessment, Friday. This will be on July 3 to 5:30 in the afternoon, and we have invited Attorney Nelson Gargoles to discuss this session. And if you want to customize an in-house e-learning session for your company, for your team, please do email me at irish.arivaacademy@gmail.com, or you can call me at 0916-695-4418. And that's it. Thank you, guys. Please do join us in a while on screen impression management. Okay, and we have invited Ms. Abigail Arenas de Leon. Again, this is Irish Malonda Samson in Ariva. It's all about being better, and see you. Bye-bye.